My name is Bob Delgado.
And I understand you have a story for us today, Bob.
Yes, I have a story. So, I was probably around 20, 21 years old. Um, so that would have been like 1986 or so. I had been reading a lot of Rolling Stone magazine at the time, and there was a ad in the back for a school in Dallas, Texas. And the school basically was how to become a video producer, making videos basically.
So, why did you want to become a music video producer or a music producer?
Like I said before, I'm still into music. I love music. Told my mom and dad about it. My mom at first really didn't want me to go. She thought it was too far away. But then she thought about it, and my dad actually told her it was actually good. It was in Dallas because I have family there. So, my dad and I, when it came time to go there, we drove. I drove. I had a Chevette at the time, so we went from Lorain, Ohio, and we drove all the way to Dallas, Texas. It's a pretty long trip. It was the most time I had spent with my dad since whenever, because I don't remember ever spending that much time with him. So I started going to class, but I could tell right away that I didn't. I think I had made a mistake at that point. Anyway, we went out one night and partied way too much. Stayed out really late in Dallas. Came home, came back to the apartment, and everyone else kind of crashed, went to bed, and I was up, and I went to the bathroom, and I looked in the mirror, and I was just kind of like, "What are you doing? Why are you here?" Just feeling really frustrated at that point, just knowing that I wasn't doing what I should be doing, that I was letting down my mom and dad who had kind of helped me get there, and I was kind of letting myself down at that point. So I decided that I was going to leave and go back to Ohio. So the next day, first thing in the morning, I packed up my Chevette and I left. I didn't even say goodbye to anybody because I didn't want them to try to convince me to stay. So I drove back pretty much nonstop, which is a pretty long drive to Ohio. On the way back, I kind of formulated my plan on what I was going to do, and I decided I wanted to be a teacher because I had thought about it before, and it kept coming up. And people had told me that I would make a good teacher, and I really never paid that much attention to them. Okay, so when I got back to Ohio, I enrolled at the community college full time and talked to my counselor and said I wanted to be a teacher. And at the time, I wanted to be a social studies teacher. I switched my major halfway through, and I went to special education. And the reason why is I did have some experience in some of my jobs previous to when I went to college were working with people with disabilities. And I always had an affinity to it. I always felt like I had a good rapport with them, with people with disabilities. I still do. I still like helping them. As my role as a classroom teacher and now as what's called a transition coordinator, I get to work with people who have disabilities, and I help them try to navigate once they do leave high school and try to help them either with getting a job or possibly some more training. Depends. It depends on each of the students what their goals are. That trip that I took back, I think, really helped me kind of get myself together and kind of go forward. When I got back home, it wasn't easy, but I stuck with it, and so I'm kind of glad I did. I'm kind of glad I actually went to Texas because it kind of made me kind of kick myself in the rear and kind of make me realize, to kind of, if you're going to get somewhere, you got to kind of push yourself a little bit. So I'm kind of thankful that I did go experience that, and that's about it.